Hello,
Well,
hello,
hello everyone
hello.
anyway.
Welcome
So
aboard.
yeah, thanks for joining another
Welcome
podcast.
aboard again.
So
To a crazy ride. So obviously, I said to you straight away. He said, "How's it going, Nick?" And I didn't say anything about family or anything. That's not. It's going really. Amazon's going well. Amazon's going well.
yeah,
Like, Amazon's taking over. Yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
weather's amazing. I've just had a wee half an hour out in the sun. I had to go to the tip to
yeah.
get rid of some
It's nice,
boxes.
isn't it?
Obviously, the tip run that had to be done. That has to be done. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to stop that,
Yeah,
but I'll let
so
you
I did a
carry on.
tip run and then
Tell
I
you
walked
about that
into
later.
a shop, found the 12 units that I wanted, and then 60 quid coming out. I thought, oh, yes, that's amazing. And then I got here and I said to the wife, let's just sit out in the sun for half an hour. So we just had half an hour in the sun. Little one's at nursery. So,
Nice.
yeah, I thought it's been a productive day. I've been to the gym, I've prepped a bit, really here today. It's just different ideas that I've got. You know what I mean? I want to. I've got the bug. I've
Yeah.
got the
Too
bug
many
of like
ideas.
launching new products now, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, man, I could do this, I could do that. But then you've got the other product that's selling just as well, and the demand is just as crazy. So you're thinking, what do I do? And
Mm.
it's what I was just saying when we first started is just send it to a prep center. Do I not send it to a prep center? It's just obviously once you start using a prep center, you incur that extra cost. And I don't know if you're like myself. I'm a tight
Yeah.
guy, so therefore I'm just thinking it's an extra cost. But then again, it's just what could I do with my time? Something else, you know? What I mean,
Exactly. I've been going. So I've obviously had these exact thoughts. I've been on and off prep centers. For those that follow my channel, you've seen me go on and off them. And I made the decision, and I did a whole video about this in my sort of car vlog, that I'm going 100% prep center now. I don't really care about the cost too much because it's going to free up
yeah,
time for me to do other things. So prep, you're smarter than being a no offense depending on who preps, but like you've got better things to do with
yeah,
your time than prepping. So you're better off paying someone, and if you can send enough volume to people as well, you'll get those quantities down. As I mentioned in my vlog, I know a guy who's got his prep cost down to
wow,
20p a unit, which is insanely cheap. But obviously, he
yeah,
sends
yeah,
them a lot of
yeah,
volume. So if you can send the volume in, so you just got to build it up, and you might have to suck up a 50, 60 pence a unit now, but you can definitely get that down if you're reliable, you send a lot of stuff in,
yeah.
and you're regular. You'll basically become like a staple for a prep center, and then hopefully, and especially as well, if you're doing the same
Yeah,
item, like if you can send 1,000 the same item in, that's way easier to prep
I think
than like 1,000 of like 100
exactly.
different SKUs
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's what
So that should help and drive down those costs as well, and that's when you can start negotiating that stuff. But yeah, for me, I'm 100% now going full on prep center. I'd rather spend my time doing other things. This is all going to get cleared out by the end of the month. There won't be a single item of stock in my apartment. That's my goal for this
wow.
month. Clear it all out. I think you should do the
I
same.
know.
Well, not maybe not
I'm
the same, but like
100%
yeah.
with you. It's just obviously I was saying it's just my brother's finished university. He's got a job. He got the job, by the way. He did get the job September. So
Okay.
starting 33K
Cool.
starting salary
Awesome.
is not bad coming out of uni, is it? Um,
Who was that with again? Was it? I
it's a
can't
big
remember.
it's doing the finance for a big a big
You can tell me
recycling
afterwards.
company, but he's doing the
Okay.
finance
Cool.
side of it. That's what's
Nice.
going in as a graduate scheme. So
Cool.
it's very very happy. I'm very happy for him. He needs that job to begin with.
Mm.
And I did say to him because last week it was his birthday. I mean today's his
Good
birthday.
starting salary.
Last week I took him out to Man City because I've been doing that for the last 4 years. For his birthday, I take him out, have a day in Manchester, and go watch the football. It's just happened that obviously Man City
Nice.
just keep winning the league too, so it's obviously quite nice for him. So we went to the game, and I don't know if
Mm.
you watched
Okay.
football, but
Cool.
like Haaland scored 4 goals, so he was happy as Larry.
Yeah.
And I just said to him on the drive
Cool.
back, I said, I really do hope that we get to work again together, but with it being in your terms, if that makes sense, and not just in my terms. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that in the future. But I think he needs a
It'd be good for him to get out in the world and get some
yeah,
real world experience, I think. And then I definitely do like people who start a business young. As I interviewed a guy
yeah,
who's like 19 and like doing his own business. But there's also something to be said about going out and getting some experience in the real world. Especially if you get good at a certain industry, then hopefully open up opportunities for other business
yeah.
ideas in that area. But that's
I know,
awesome. Well,
right?
congrats to him anyway. That's a good
It should be good.
salary, and
I'm just thinking, I've got 2 months of him. He's got 2.5 months of summer. He's got no other responsibility really. I could use him to just do the prep. You know what I mean? I could use him to do the prep, and he said he
yeah.
wants to do it. So that'd be interesting. Or do I just go full prep and then use him to do RA kind of thing? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it'd be good to get him
Yeah.
some money to start with. I guess he can do. But yeah, I mean, RA. Look, I'm going to do some more RA now because the weather's nicer.
Oh
Can he
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
drive? I
drives.
don't
Yeah, he
know.
drives. Yeah, he loves it too. Not like
So
me. I hate it. I
I
hate driving, but he loves it.
yeah. So yeah, it's nice to go out. Well, it's nice to drive, put some
Yeah.
music on in the sun, windows down. You know, we don't
No.
get that very often, do we? So when you're and then doing that and when you're doing RA is quite nice. I think it's when it's like
Yeah.
dark, miserable, dull, rainy. It's like oh, and you're not
No, that's
finding
the
any deals. It's like can't get any lower, kind of. So he might
yeah,
enjoy doing that, you know, and also that might actually spur him on potentially to do it as a side hustle with his business,
yeah,
with his job. Maybe if you can go to Tesco's or Sainsbury's after work, you know, do a couple of hours of sourcing. Because I think with RA, you got to do it regularly. You got to get good. I mean, with
yeah.
anything, you got to do it regularly. You got to learn stuff. You know, I go out every now and then. I'm not very good at RA, to be honest. But yeah, if I actually put the work in, I'd probably be okay. But yeah, I think
No,
that's
that's
up
it.
to
It's
you, I
just having
guess.
a
But yeah, I
decision.
think prep centers definitely. You've got to, you know, you can't be, especially if your like products are starting to sell massively. You can't be spending all day sitting there because you're probably better off
Or making a new
spend, looking for
product
other
in it.
products or
Yeah.
improving the listing. I don't know, doing
If
whatever
you're
you need
thinking
to do,
about it too,
working on your
if you're thinking
PPC
about it too,
stuff.
it's just it's either £5 and you spend a whole day prepping per item, or it's £4.50 and you don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
In fact, most of the companies have credit
yeah,
terms too, so it's almost like free money. Speaking of, and I'm going to
yeah.
go off on a tangent straight away. The 19-year-old that you mentioned, because obviously I watched the whole interview you had with him as I was prepping.
Yeah,
It's just like, yeah, Callum in the
it's Callum.
background,
Yeah,
and I will have him on also too. I just straight away I took action in regards to what he's doing. I've already got 3 or 4 different accounts opened after the video with him. I just contacting people
oh,
by
cool,
phone, harassing people on LinkedIn. Believe it or not, harassing people on LinkedIn. I got the month
nice.
trial for LinkedIn. Who's that? Oh, delivery UPS guy. Perfect. Um,
Might
yeah.
need to mute
So
my thing actually.
yeah. So straight away I just thought, well, I've got what 2.5 years into the company now. I've got the VAT number. I've got a website. May as well try and get something. Of course, I've had people that said no, but I've had people that get yes, and it's just a matter of just keep pestering and pestering.
This is
Yeah, yeah, just
wholesale
starting to get a
accounts, is it
wholesale
you're
accounts.
doing,
'Cause I'm
or
thinking,
okay,
well,
cool,
if
nice.
I am going to be trying unique bundles, it'll be a lot easier for me instead of doing retail purchases, making bulk purchases, and putting. Imagine doing wholesale sourcing plus adding a PL item and making a unique bundle with PL. I mean,
Yeah, there's so many opportunities,
so
aren't there? Yeah, you don't
and
have to necessarily. Yeah, it might. Yeah,
yeah,
there's so many opportunities. It's
and
actually
in fact,
overwhelming.
yeah, it's just I just straight away took action with it. I would love. I mean,
That's
obviously,
good.
I texted him, and when I showed you the screenshot I sent him, one of the first thing I said is like, "You're not coming on until you've sorted your social media and you sort your YouTube out because I think it's going to do really well. He's
Yeah,
got such a little niche there." Um,
I've told him. Yeah, right away. I was like, mate, you're gonna like just the word
yeah,
AI is so hot right now as well. And the main thing as well is AI might fizzle out. Like it might end up being nothing, but it also could end up taking off even more. And when these things take off, if you're the
yeah,
established person or you've got a bunch of videos on YouTube already, then you're going to be the guy that everyone goes to, and that's where you see people's channels like explode from like 5K to
and
100K in like a month because they had their videos on the hot topic that happened to come along, and AI is probably not going to go away, is it? And it will come around again when people's talking about it. So yeah, I think it's a huge opportunity there. I'm going to be trying to get into it as well. You know, latch onto that if I can, but I'm not an
I think
expert
it's
like him.
such a brilliant idea. And I said to him, the videos that he's going to be
Yeah,
creating is going to be pretty much how-to videos. So people are just going to keep going more and more, and will want to watch the whole video.
yeah, exactly.
So I think he's going to do really, really well with that. And obviously, I said to him, like, I've got no problem
Yeah,
just saying, guys, watch him, kind of thing. And that's what it should be utilizing. I wish I had somebody at 19 trying to say to help us, because I think we probably, me, myself, and you are not. There's no jealousy. There's more like amazement, kind of thing. Like, wow, you know what I mean? Let's do more. Let's help.
yeah. I want him to do the
Yeah, as
video so
simple
I
as
can
that.
copy how
Is
to do it.
yeah,
You know?
as simple as that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of jealousy in that. Oh god, I used to be like that. I used to be way more inquisitive when I was younger about this new technologies and stuff. Now I'm a bit set in my ways. Um, so like I knew AI came out, but I didn't necessarily like go hardcore deep into it and like start learning everything about it, like I might have done
Yeah,
when I was 20. But then I've got other responsibilities now. I
Yeah.
can't just spend all day looking at it. Well, I suppose I could, but but no, I think it's great, to be honest. I'm really pleased for him, and I say his FBA is going well. He's obviously
Yeah.
utilizing AI as well. There's a good opportunity there, as you and I know. Jumping onto
Yeah.
social media can be very good as well for like pushing yourself out there, bringing another revenue stream in, and obviously you throw AI in
I
there as
think it's
well.
going to
It's
do
going to
really, and it's
be,
quite young
it's a
too. And
buzzword
I
right
think my
now.
favorite part of the video was
Yeah,
when he said to you he was planning the route using AI, and you're like, "Oh, you were so sad.
yeah, I did
You were
that
so sad.
manually.
You actually thought,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I could have done that myself."
why didn't I do that? But this is the thing. I don't even because I'm so set in my ways. I don't. It doesn't even occur to me to use that as my first thing. I'm like, oh, I'm so used to using Google
Yeah.
and doing this as myself. So it's just changing your mindset to now. It's almost like block Google and
Yeah.
only use ChatGPT. Basically, do not use Google because that's essentially what it does for you. It's like if you want to
Yeah.
compare two TVs. Like I don't know which one to get, or two cameras. You're like, oh, go on, I'll compare them, whatever. Well, let ChatGPT sit for you. And it should hopefully list out all the
Mhm.
features for you and pull up all the
But it's
articles or
it's
whatever it is.
it's weird
Yeah.
because obviously you
So
had that part of the video with it, and then on the same week, I think it was on
yeah,
Instagram. Is it called POC FBA? POC FBA, I think it's called. Is it
not a
so I've
chance
got
of
him on
it.
Instagram, just following him, and he mentioned he had an app which lets him create routes, and literally he'll put these stops.
Mm,
And then the app will do it in the most cost-efficient way. So I was able to I
yeah.
knew he'd posted it, and I just messaged him. I was like, which one's the app, because I wanted to try it out and do a few things, and it's just obviously saves you a lot more time because you thinking you know the way
Yeah.
and
To be
you
fair,
don't kind of thing.
I did actually look at apps because there are apps out there for like every drivers and stuff like that, or delivery drivers, and they'll come out the most efficient route. But they all wanted
No,
money, and I was like, I'm not paying money just for one little route. So, or they'd had like, oh, you can only do like three
yeah.
stops. I'm like, that's no good. So I don't know. If, you have to let me know what it
No,
is
no,
if it's free.
sadly it was a trial. It was a
Um,
trial. It's like four, yeah, and then I think it was like
okay,
seven
yeah,
ninety
that's the
nine.
thing. Yeah, I
So I
couldn't
think it's
find a
called a
free
route for
one.
me, something like that. It's
Okay,
called. But
okay,
it was
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
I
It
did
was
look for that
interesting
to
to
be
see it.
fair. But
Interesting to see it. Obviously, if that's what your business is going to be, how much time and money will that save you, if that makes sense? And I think one of the biggest
yeah,
attributes of that app was the fact that you could save the route and say, this is going to be my Monday route, this is my Tuesday route, this is my Wednesday route, X, Y, Z. Especially if that's your sourcing mechanism. You know what I mean? It's just if you've got
yeah.
a Discord group that's pinging all day and you're just thinking, I'm just going to move X, Y, Z. Um, Especially when you've got like mental picks, like it's got such a RA orientated group, all you got to do is just thinking, well,
Mm,
this is what I'm doing today, and then maybe you can figure out the pattern of the restocks. And what I've experienced now at the moment in time is that I've been doing a bit more RA for one certain item, and I've been seeing my stores gone from store having 6 to having 12. So I'm hoping, because literally as soon as they
okay.
come in, I'm buying them. I'm hoping that's going to send a trigger kind of thing, like how game works. How game
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Any game shop works. If you empty a game shop in the UK, you should try and visit it in 3-4 days time, because chances are they're going to restock exactly the same things. So
Yeah.
that's how shops work.
Well, you can ask the staff members, you can say, oh, have you
Yeah,
got any more in the back? How long does it take to restock? You can learn that
yeah,
kind of stuff as well. But yeah, it's good. I mean, to be fair, £8 a month is good if you're doing RA all the time. Because the other thing as well is I created like a Tesco route, a Sainsbury's route, an Asda route. But one time there was like, I think I was doing every Sainsbury's in my area, but there was also Asda dealers as well. So I
yeah,
had to incorporate Asda into that. Obviously, if you get all your postcodes set up for all the different stores, and then suddenly you go onto Mental Picks, for example, and say, "Oh, there's a deal in Tesco's and a deal in Sainsbury's," you can just throw all the Tesco's, all
yeah,
the Sainsbury's in there, and it'll give you the route for all of them. So that's where that's going to be powerful. Or it could be a mix. It could be three stores. I mean, that's when RA is best, is when you've got like
yeah,
two or three different stores that there are leads at. That way, hopefully, you should always get something, and
yeah.
just do the big
Because it's soul
route.
destroying, isn't it? Otherwise, it is
So
soul
that's really,
destroying. When you
yeah,
go out, it's soul. And as you
yeah,
said at the
it
beginning of
is.
the video, you said if you go out on a dark, dark, rainy day and you've not found anything, you're thinking, I could have just been at home,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Right when you're going into every store you go into, it's
Yeah.
like £100
Yeah.
profit.
They just
Yeah,
buzz on
whatever it
you.
is, and
Just
you go
like
in, you
it's
can
such a
come back with
different
five.
buzz, isn't it? A different,
Yeah.
completely different buzz with that rain.
But yeah, when you're finding nothing, but you got to persevere though. And I remember the last time I did a huge route, it was when I mentioned Sainsbury's and Asda, I think. And as I was going through, I wasn't being like that thorough at the Sainsbury's. And on my last store at the very end of the day, I found a bunch of new items that I scanned. I was like, shit.
Was
Now I need to kind of go back and look at all the other stores. I didn't, to be fair, because
yeah.
I was fed up by then. But I was like, damn it, I found this item at the last store. Have
Oh,
I been leaving all these ones behind at the previous ones? So, and they were really good ones as well. It was a good lead. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I remember thinking, oh, this is
no.
really
I've
good
been at a
profit.
few times where I've seen something,
But
somebody's posted something, and I've left the shop half an hour ago, or something like that, and I'm just, it's so hard to go back out
yeah,
again. Just
yeah, depends
yeah,
if you like that kind of thing, you know. But it's good if you want to do RA, get going daily and stuff, and maybe even like, you know, again, I talked about it in my vlog actually. There's people in America who like their entire business model is RA, and I was listening to this guy who's an 8-figure seller in America, and he pays people to go out in certain states, and that's their job basically, is to go out, replan items, find new
oh,
items, and just do that. I think you could probably do that business model in the UK. I don't know, you know, I have to think about it properly, make sure it's profitable. But yeah, you pay people a certain amount of money per hour, maybe, or a
yeah.
percentage of the leads, or I don't know how it would work exactly, but you know, you could do that, and then if you get a national sale or something, then they can
That's
help you
it. Yeah.
clear out. But I don't know, but you can make, I think you could make 50, 100K a year doing RA
Which is
full time,
insane,
no
too, because you
problem.
still have your own
So
schedule, kind of thing. You still have your own
yeah,
schedule. You still have your own
yeah,
business.
yeah,
It's just amazing. It's still amazing to me, and obviously, because we are talking about business, I keep and I've been packing quite a lot actually at the moment. I constantly have I have quite a
me
lot
too.
on
To
the
be fair.
iPad. I'm just constantly listening to podcasts.
That's exactly. I love listening to like your podcast and other things like that. Yeah, all these things in the
That's what I
background when
do.
I'm, because I don't need to. Don't want to. I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily watching it. I'm just listening, and like hopefully people will be doing the same for this. They'll be prepping, listening to this, hopefully learning something as well, or just in having an enjoyable time while you're prepping. Because you know we all
yeah.
start out prepping, to be honest, and then doing boring, mundane tasks. But
It's just
yeah,
weird, isn't it?
but yeah, and
It's just letting go of something, isn't it? It's just letting go. But I guess you're just
yeah,
employing.
it's
If
hard.
it, then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, I'm employing a professional for 60p per unit. That's what it is. I'm employing someone who's fully capable, and it's just it's little
Yeah,
things, isn't it? So, I mean, obviously we've got Squeefic now because they were talking about Squeefic. They're only 50p per item. Yeah, they're only 50p per item.
yeah,
But you've got to be thinking is receiving stock. That's one thing. Unpacking stock, that's another challenge. Sticking labels,
yeah. There's a lot
disposing the
to it.
boxes,
There's
disposing
a
boxes. There's just so many things going through.
That's exactly why I think you should I think 50p is actually a bargain, because when you actually think about how much effort you have to do, like
Yeah,
just accepting the boxes, okay, then you just got to cut the boxes open, take the stock out. Like especially if
yeah,
you've got a big delivery that has to be organized on a shelf or something like that, that takes time. Then obviously you've got to
yeah,
cut down the boxes, break down the boxes, like you're saying, take them down the tip. You know, that's another effort. You know, for
yeah,
me it's quite close, but still
yeah.
half hour out of my day, drive down the tip.
And
There
you're
might be a
lucky if you can
queue or
dispose them.
whatever.
There's a lot of
You
tips that you've
know,
got to pay to dispose boxes.
yeah, yeah. To be fair, I think they're okay because it's cardboard and stuff. I don't do anything bad, and obviously cardboard's probably something they quite like. And then obviously, yeah, then all the prep element to it as well. It's actually
Yeah,
quite time intensive to do prep in house. There are a lot of steps to it. Yeah,
it's this.
it's not worth it. It's
Yeah,
good when you start out. It's just, you know, and like I said, I've been hot and cold on it. It's like I say, I was doing full time prep center, but then when I had bad months, I was like,
yeah.
oh, it sucks to be paying out 2,000 to prep center, and I made no money this month. But you just gotta, once you're in a good place, I guess, on that
I
FBA,
guess the only
you're
time
making
to
good
scale
money. You
is
just have to,
employing people. That's the only way.
yeah, that is the only way. You can't do it always. Or you can do. You can have a lifestyle business if you're happy making that money. But there's a
Yeah,
limit. There's going to be a limit. And the only way you can improve your profits at that point is becoming more efficient at prepping, finding higher profit items, or things like that. And that's where you can possibly boost your profits up. But it's much easier just to hire someone to
yeah,
do your stuff for you and then find new products than it is to try and like find higher ROI items or become more efficient at
yeah.
prep, I guess, because there's limits to that. So yeah, if you want to grow, you know, then you need to outsource. But everyone will know the time when it's ready. But hopefully you're
Yeah,
getting
it's
there
just,
now.
it's
Actually,
just
sounds like you are. Because you're
yeah,
getting
yeah,
fed
yeah.
up with it
It's
as well.
getting.
Wouldn't you rather spend that
I
time with
mean,
your kid or something or
I'm
whatever? You
lucky
know,
that
or
she's
sourcing or
obviously she's in
whatever.
Tuesday, Thursdays now, so that's the days that I just I'll drop her off around 7:30, and then I'll pack to like 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
from 7:30 till 12, and then I'll have lunch, and then the day kind of winds down. Really, I've started going to the
Mm.
gym because I said to you, one of the things I want to look after myself a bit more. So I drop off at 7:30, go to the gym for 8. I do half an hour, 40 minutes. So I start at 9. I would say 9 o'clock. I'm packing till 12. And then it's just, I can see the day just getting slower and slower and slower. And I'm just thinking, well, I'm using, and the
Yeah.
reason as to why I'm packing between 9 and 12 is because I'm thinking I just want the items out on the same day. But I'm using my most productive part of
Yeah.
my day, the 9 to 12, because I'm a morning person. I'm using that 9 to
Yeah.
12 to pack when I could be using it to create content, to be pushing out more stuff, X, Y, Z. So,
Oh yeah. So you think you're saving yourself maybe, let's say,
yeah,
50, £100 in prep, but you could make a video that blows up on YouTube that
yeah.
makes you £1,000 or whatever, And the other thing as well, I don't know how much time you spend per week. Let's say it's £20, 20 hours per week, doing Amazon, 20 hours per week. And if you're spending 6, 8 hours of those 20 hours prepping, that's a
Yeah.
big percentage spending on a low value task essentially. So yeah, it's the obvious choice. I
Yeah,
think it's just hard to let
it's
go.
as you said.
It
It's
is.
as you
So everyone
said. It's
has
just
their
it's weird because like obviously
yeah,
I've done. I think I'm at 3,000 profit this month already. Okay, which for me is really good because obviously I'm doing PL at the moment in time, and to put it in
yeah,
context, I got 3,000 for the whole of March. Okay, so the business has changed. It's took a massive change since I've had a 30% margin. But I was speaking to Shahil during the video too, and he
mm,
says that he's been able to have a product that has been spending 75 quid advertising per day on it, and he still has a 20% margin. And in my head, I'm like,
nice.
oh, 75 quid. I think I still got the small business mentality when I shouldn't be. I mean, I'm somebody who's
Yeah.
getting consistently for the last, what, 3 years, six figures,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you worry about the Amazon
meaning,
fees? As in, like, okay, let's say I find an item to sell, okay, and I can make £10 profit on it. I don't even look at the Amazon
yeah, I
fees
don't
because
look
they're
at it now.
irrelevant. So you should think the PPC should be the same. It's just
Yeah.
part of the cost of the product. Like you should. I don't think you probably do worry about the Amazon fees. I never even look at it. I know sometimes people say to me, "Oh, what the Amazon fees are so high." I'm like, it doesn't even.
when when
I don't even
when it
think
comes
about. I
to
don't even look
PL,
at
you
it.
will think
You
about it
know.
because literally it's 5
Sure,
centimeters can
I
make a
get
difference
it.
between 2 and 3 quid profit. Um,
Yeah. But the point I'm making is though that as long as as it makes sense
yeah,
from an ROI point of view, then it doesn't matter
yeah.
what the advertising cost is or whatever. Like it's just a part of the cost of the
Plus, you can
product
claim back
essentially.
VAT on it. Plus,
Um,
you get points with Amex because
yeah,
advertising is paid
exactly.
with an American Express.
So it's just slowly building up, I guess, that mentality of like, you need to spend the money
Yeah,
to make money, especially with that year in PL products and stuff. Not that I've done PL yet. We're close to launching our
nice.
first
It's
product now.
exciting, isn't it? It's exciting.
I think hopefully our brand thing should. I think our not what's it called, trademark should be in now.
Nice.
I need to check actually, or very like it's very close. But yeah, it's just yeah. So you said you made
Yeah,
three
it's
thousand
nice.
this month
Seriously,
already.
it's
Is that
mad.
what you're
Yeah,
on?
yeah, yeah. It's mad.
Profit.
It's
Well,
just
you might be
mad.
more ahead of
It's
me. One
absolutely mad.
second.
Seriously, because I made.
So I'm on
Yeah.
two
And
fifty
I'll
right
show
now.
you also,
So
let's have a look also
uh,
the numbers. To the thing is, obviously, I only earned 3,000 for the whole of March, but I knew I was just trusting the process. I
yeah.
was in the moment of transition, and I was just like, Nick, come on, you can do it, you can do it. We've sold 8,500, so and 3,000 profit. It's not bad at all,
Nice.
really. It's doing, yeah.
Okay, so I'm on 13
And
two sales and 3,243 profit. So for this month so far. So obviously you're doing a better.
yeah,
You've got less sales, which is best. Is better to be honest, isn't it? You want obviously
yeah.
ideally you want the lower sales. Not that it matters too much really, but obviously from a capital point of view and stuff, if you can make more for your. So what's your ROI on
Uh,
that then? Must be pretty good.
how do I?
So I'm at 60,
The two numbers
64%.
is 115 and 138.6. So
Okay.
30% margin for us.
Okay, yeah. I know in PL you guys use margin more
Mate,
than
seriously,
ROI.
I didn't think. I thought, what the heck is margin this ROI difference? Because you have a lot of people talking blah 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 blah. But the moment I've switched,
yeah.
and my sourcing criteria for the PL has been, and unique bundles has been at least 30% margin, it's it's just changed the business. It's just changed the business completely. I didn't think such a big difference it would make, but I think I've mentioned it before in the videos with us. The product that's been unsuccessful with me is I'm putting the numbers now and I'm checking I'm at 8% margin. I'm like, Nick, what the heck? How did you even think I was going to be successful? At 8% margin, you've got no space for error. Even after advertising, what you're making, what 10p? It's just stupid. It's
Mm,
stupid.
yeah,
So it's just nice to
yeah.
see it grow.
So I'm yeah. So I said I don't actually look at margin ever, but I'm at 24.4% this month. Previous month was
It's
22.3,
beautiful.
so not too
Like
bad, I guess.
obviously,
But for OA, yeah. To be honest,
no,
it's not bad figures, but obviously with PO you get better
but
figures.
it's taken me what
But
two?
yeah, so
Apologies, sorry. It's taken me what a year and a half now to get to this stage.
yeah, well,
No,
this is not
it's
a
not.
fast business. No matter what anyone says on social media, that is unless you've got £1 million or a lot of money to invest and maybe a team of people, you are not going to scale quickly on Amazon. However, it's one of these like it's one of the, I don't know like where it's an
Yeah,
exponential growth, isn't it? Basically, so it'll start off slow, and before you know it, like you, oh, I made £3,000 profit all of April. I'm on 3,000. We're
yeah.
only on the
It's it
9th of
is
May.
it's
You
kind of
know,
mad.
we're only a third of the way through the
Yeah,
month. I'm already at 3,000. So you're going to see this exponential growth, and before you know it, you're making 5, 10, 20,000 a month. Obviously, the limiting factor becomes your
yeah,
capital, basically, and this is what ends up slowing everyone down. Is everyone's running out of capital? They've got all these products they can buy, and and it just takes too long to
yeah,
get them shipped and to get them sold, and capital becomes the big problem that stops you scaling, which then obviously stunts it a little bit. But
yeah.
it's
It's
just
just that
patience.
it really has been
It's
the
all it comes
patience. It's
down to.
just it's just so weird. I'm such I don't know. No, it's just you thinking. I'm trying to figure out what I am. Would you say a fake person or not? Because like obviously I'm trying to change the business model for me not to be part of the business, and now
Yeah.
I've ended up packing again. I'm just like,
Yeah,
is
yeah. So you basically got to stop falling into. So for me, I've made a rule, and that I'm basically not going to allow any items of Amazon stock into my apartment.
it's
Basically,
massive.
that is the rule. The warehouse that I've got, not warehouse, the storage locker, I'll put in my returns and stuff until I can figure out a better process for that. Because that's the only part of my entire prep. So obviously, I can outsource the prep. Can do that no problems. I don't have to deal with that anymore. So yeah, if you want to make easy
I
money off me,
know,
you got
and
to take the
then
good
you've
and
got
the
to fight.
bad.
Sometimes you can fight retention. It just becomes because you've got to open the case and everything X Y Z. So it's just
Yeah.
it's weird. I think
So
this is
yeah, I
when
need to
this
figure
is
out the
when
best way
like
to.
you become almost kind of thing. Can you employ someone 9 to 5 to be in a warehouse for you, unpack goods and everything? It's just, but then you just
Yeah.
become. I don't know. It's just obviously I know that's the next
To
step.
be
That
honest,
that's got to be the next step. Have a section where you can have someone to clock in, clock out 9 to 5 each day, and does certain jobs. And what could be your jobs? It could be packing. It could be chasing invoices. It could be XYZ. I mean, it could be that receiving the returns, taking pictures, listing on eBay, telling them your goal is at least 5 eBay listings per day. I mean, it makes such a big difference.
but do you know that's a huge effort though. You got to hire someone, you got to manage them. To be honest, I think, and actually, as much it's kind of crazy, you're probably just better off using the Amazon liquidation service. To be honest, and getting 10, 20p
Yeah.
on the pound. To be honest, than having to go through all that effort because then
But
you've got like
what
holiday,
if the marked it damaged?
salary,
What if the marked it
what's that?
damaged?
Dispose.
But it's just that.
It probably might be cheaper. It
Yeah.
depends on what you're selling, especially doing PL when the cost hopefully is a little bit lower. You wouldn't care as much
Yeah.
about disposing items. Like for me, doing OA, it's a little bit more hard to swallow. It's like, oh, someone like damages a camera or something. Obviously, I'll probably get that returned, but I need to just basically say if it's less than 50 quid, I'm just going to either liquidate or dispose it because it's just
Yeah.
otherwise it's going to pile up, and I don't want to spend my time eBaying. I'm better off just plowing on. It's a bit of a thing. It sucks basically throwing that money away, but it's just part of the business, I guess, and that's why we always try and aim for like at
Yeah.
least 30% ROI, but more like 40, 50, 60%, so we can take off those ones that when we get returns and stuff, we can just lose them. It doesn't matter, and just try and
Yeah.
get
It's
some money
just.
back. But for me personally, like you're saying about warehouse and stuff, I mean, everyone's goals are different. For me, I want to. My ultimate goal is to start traveling for 9 months of the year, spend 9 months of the year abroad. So I don't want to have a stock
Yeah.
in the UK, as in like a warehouse and stuff. and things like that. So for me, I need to just outsource it all. But obviously, some people do want to have a warehouse. That's kind of their goal and their dream.
It's
And that's
not, I'll be
there's
honest, because then
definitely something
you
tempting
just
about
constantly,
that.
it's like,
Yeah,
obviously, not to romanticize stuff, it'd be lovely to be able to have a shop you can sell from your shop kind of thing in person, but then you've got
yeah.
to be there. It's just,
Yeah, exactly. You're basically just
yeah,
creating yourself a job. That's what you're doing. It's like I've heard really bad things about Subway franchises. You're basically
yeah,
buying a job at that point because they don't make enough money that you basically
right.
have to work there, and you end up working there for like 30K a year, or whatever. You're basically buying a job. Now, if you don't have
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
job
then
and
you're
that's your only
okay.
option, fine. But yeah, why create a job like that? Especially with Amazon, when you can outsource it all, and then you can end up say traveling if you want or working on other things. Never even see the stock. Like it's like if you wanted to move into America, for example, which I know a lot of people are trying to do. You would never see the stock. You'd have to basically organize
Yeah.
everything to be remote. Unless you're flying out to America to deal with your returns, which I doubt. You know,
It's just weird.
where
It's,
you've got
it's
to
just
factor in a
growing.
thousand
It's
pound
just
plane
growing the
ticket.
business, and you got to be thinking. As I said, I've still
Yeah,
got the small business mentality when it shouldn't be a small business. Obviously, I've done. I mean, people put it on a Twitter bio or Instagram bio. It's like, oh, six-figure sellers. Like, it's not hard to get six figures on
yeah.
Amazon. It's not. Let's
No,
be
no. To be
honest.
fair, it's not.
Seven figures,
Seven
yes,
figures,
okay. I don't
maybe.
think six
Not
figures
two.
is hard, especially when it's such a disparity between 100K. I know
Depends what you
exactly
mean by six
100K and
figures.
nine hundred
So,
thousand. Such a
yeah,
big difference. Um,
yeah, that's true. It just looks good for the new
yeah.
people. I mean, I do it as well. I've got six-figure seller on there. Although I now mean profit, but
Ooh.
maybe it was originally sales. So, well, if things keep going, I should be a six-figure
Wow,
profit
amazing,
seller.
mate, from your house.
The way things are going, but obviously it depends if how trajectories go and stuff. But this month's off to a bang already. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. It's
knew
been
three
good.
thousand three hundred. We're ninth. So in theory, that should be over 10,000, shouldn't it? So which is well over 100K a year. 8,333 a
How many
month is
units have you
100,000 a
sold
year, isn't
this
it?
month?
So
I've
so
sold 521. 521, that's what I've sold. Yeah. So
146. So my items
yeah.
are much higher profit per unit, which is the way I like it actually. But they're much slower. This I actually go for stuff that people don't do. I
Yeah.
go for the lower sellers, the slower sellers, and just do a big variety of them, and then
Well,
try and
that's the
get like
thing. You've got a
15,
tactic.
20.
You've got a tactic,
You
Simon.
know,
You're not just
yeah,
you're not just loading the computer in the morning and
exactly.
thinking, I am just gonna have a look to see what can I find randomly. You thinking, well, this is my category,
Yeah,
and that's what I was starting to say here too. It's just so important to find a category and just take it to the nth degree, kind of thing. Just hammer it, hammer it, hammer it, and just see
yeah,
what else can I extract off it. What can I do better? The more you stay in a category, the better your company is going to become, and the better your Amazon journey is going to be. I think it personally.
exactly. I actually just made up a whole Google spreadsheet with because basically I've got a VA with three other
Nice.
people. And we're basically moving him into a certain category now. He's been working for us about a month and a half, 2 months. And I said to him, right now we need to move into category. So basically, create an entire spreadsheet for him. And I'll actually, if people want it, I'll maybe link it down in the description. And people can clone it. But it basically has a tab for like listing all the sites. Because I basically came up with a checklist. Let me get it up for people. I can find it because someone asked me in my Discord group like, "How do you find a new category?" So I was like, "Okay, think of a category. Let's take like knitting and sewing." So this is good advice for anyone who wants to get into a category and get good at it. Basically, find a category, do
Yeah.
research, find all the websites basically that you can do, and sign up to all the newsletters for those. So let's say we're going to do knitting and sewing. We're going to search on Google, find all the sites that sell knitting and sewing supplies and all that kind of stuff. Basically, then obviously once you've got the newsletter signed up, look for all the sales, and then once you find an item, then start reverse sourcing all the
Yeah.
people that are selling that item as well, because they're probably doing the same thing as you. So you're looking for
Yeah.
smart people doing that category, and then just obviously keep track of all your leads, all your sales, when the sales happen, all the sites, all the brands as well.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
you a
That'd be
link so you
brilliant
can
for
share it
people.
down below so people can clone it. And yeah, basically just keep track of all that stuff, and then that's how you become good at a category. So you know what brands are really good. There could be like it's like in health and beauty, like La Roche Posay was basically a staple brand for health and beauty. Everyone sold it. It was very profitable. You could source it from multiple places. There were always sales going on. But maybe Hugo Boss was a terrible brand that you could never find deals on, mainly because it was blocked. But so you learn what you're looking for, and then like La Roche Posay, Vichy, whatever, Clinique, All these brands are the
Yeah.
good ones that everyone goes for, and the staple brands for your particular category. But you need to learn that, and the only way to do that is by
Yeah.
doing the hard work. So, yeah, that's just something I came up today for my VA, and
Nice.
yeah, and I created the whole spreadsheet for him. But yeah, you need to, I think. Well, saying that, I know guys that are just generalists and just do everything, and they make 80 grand. They make there's a guy who runs a group who's on like 80, 90 grand
Wow.
this year already. He's a generalist, but for me, I found being a specialist is better. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's everyone's different, I suppose. And then obviously you're thinking about like, especially because I was prepping stuff myself, going for the higher value, lower quantity items was much better. Like I've only sold 146 items this month. If I was doing health and beauty, it might be 5,000 items. And obviously prepping that yourself becomes a real
Yeah.
pain in the butt, especially if you have to polybag 5,000 items or whatever. So, but yeah, I think, yeah, getting good at a category is my advice for everyone who wants to get scale,
It's
basically.
it's just it's just so many
So
different ways, isn't
yeah,
it, with Amazon? That's the thing. It's just
yeah,
I'm just
and yeah,
I know what's
exactly.
gonna happen. I
And
know
that's
what's
just
gonna
doing it
happen.
away. I mean,
I have to bite the bullet, and I have to outsource the stuff.
yeah.
It's just even
So
yeah, because obviously
you're making enough. So what? How much do you make in
April I
April?
made 5,800. I want to say so.
Okay, because that amount of money, it might be quite a hard pill to swallow to give up. Let's say
Yeah,
2,000 a month to prep, but you're on trajectory now to make nearly 10,000. 2,000 doesn't seem so bad out of
not when the
10,000, does
time
it?
can be
Versus
spent
5,000.
utilized doing
So
something else. Let Nick, you could have
exactly.
spent this time.
So
It's
it's
so many things you can do too. That's the thing. Um,
yeah. So it's not, yeah. So you're getting to the point now where your profit actually is making more sense to then move on. Like when you're making 5,000, that's a good income, obviously, very nice income. But there's not a lot of room to like maybe outsource as much without growing. So yeah, if you got a VA or whatever, that's £500 a month, and then 2,000 in prep. You're
yeah.
giving up half your salary. So yeah, I think yeah, you'll know when the time is right. It sounds like the time is
Yeah,
right
it's
for you.
just
I
getting.
think.
It's just obviously as
uh,
much as I enjoy listening to my podcast and stuff like that while doing the activity, I'm just I keep yeah,
we can do that when you're
it's
sourcing
exactly that. And then not only that, obviously, that's
or
the thing.
researching new
Talking to
products.
people that do the same thing is just I think that's the battle of having your own business. You've got to decide when is the next step. Okay, the next step is you are
Yeah.
allowing another person into your business. Yes, of course, it's not a person that you're employing, you're seeing it stay, but you're allowing a massive, not spanner, what's cog into your business in order to run. So it's just making that jump again,
Yeah.
really, with it. But do I want to be spending my day packing? No, that's not freedom, is it? That's
No, you're just basically giving yourself
yeah,
another job, and you're basically a
exactly, yeah,
packer. So even if you're gonna do it a couple of hours a day, which you probably are, but still, it's and to be honest, it's okay for a little while, but then you get to a point where you're like, this
yeah.
sucks. Even when you listen to a podcast, or whatever, this is so boring, and I dread packing now. So I'm literally looking forward to getting everything
It'd be
sent out
interesting to see
in
what I can do with a garage
and
if
gone.
I don't have any goods here. It'd be
Yeah,
very interesting.
exactly. So I'm turning this room into a studio. So I bought, I've got a light here. I had a light there on like tripods and stuff. I bought some actual
Nice.
wall mount things, so I can actually mount them on the actual like wall with like swivel and stuff. So they're not actually in the way to be knocked over and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be turning this into more of a
Nice.
YouTube studio because obviously I'm enjoying the YouTube stuff, the social side of things like that, and just trying to push that harder. So, and that obviously comes into the fact that I'm going to be clearing this out, going more prep center. I'm going to be doing more VAs again now as well. Like, any kind of mundane tasks and stuff. I'm going to be trying to
Yeah.
document everything I'm doing and then pass that on to a VA as well. So, yeah, I've just gotten to the point now where you get a little bit fed up, I think, of doing these things. I just see other
Yeah.
opportunities out there, like maybe going into private label more, researching that kind of thing, doing more YouTube. Like the amount of money my channel made last month, like, is just insane for
Yeah.
how small my channel. I mean, I've got 2,000 subscribers. Was nuts. I don't know. You obviously do very well as well, and we've seen some other people grow their channels massively.
Yeah.
So the scope is there, and it's just I just see the opportunity, and time's better spent elsewhere, definitely. But everyone has their own like, and I've taught a few people, and everyone has their own like ceiling on how much money they can make per month, and everyone has their own things that they can't let go of, their own I guess weaknesses, I suppose, in their business. And some people can't let go of their own of doing
Yeah.
things and like outsource it For other people, it might be something else. So everyone has their own problems. It's just recognizing them and overcoming them, and accepting, by the way, that when you outsource something, generally no
Yeah.
one's going to do it as good as you. You just have to accept it. They're going to do it 80% as good as you, or whatever, but you need to accept that that's going to be fine. Although a prep center should do it
Yeah,
better than
that's
you,
what
because
the
that's what
job
they
is, isn't
do
it? Being
day
a
in
pet
day out.
centre.
So they should be like 120% better, rather than 80%. If someone does that day in day out, and they're getting paid, they're probably
Yeah.
pretty freaking quick at it and pretty good. So
Oh, it's just the next
yeah,
step,
it's an
man.
interesting one,
It's
really.
just the
But
next step, isn't it? It's just
yeah, exactly. Well, it's good to chat though, because we're kind of similar. We don't do the
yeah.
same business model.
The
We're in the
same
same kind
position,
of
obviously. You
pretty
you want
much the
your
same
freedom
sort
to
of
travel. I want the
level.
freedom
You're
to spend time with the family. I mean, it's the
exactly.
matter of things. Just the thing is, you've got your own business. You want to create some freedom. At some point, if you've got a business, you've got to employ someone. It's similar. And as you said, I mean,
Yeah,
yes, you're paying for a prep center, but you've not got to pay their taxes. You've not got to pay their health insurance, whatever it is, their NI, and
yeah.
all that carry on, which kicks in fast.
And getting a warehouse, by the way, because obviously if you continue scaling the way you are, you're not going to be able to do it
Yeah,
out of your garage anymore, or your parents' garage, or whatever. You're going to have to get a storage unit or a warehouse, and they are storage units not too bad, but warehouses are expensive. I was chatting to a guy who's got like a 2,000 square foot warehouse, I think it is, which he did sneakers in. And I can't remember what he was saying now, but basically, with all the bills, like he's saying, he's paying £500 to £600 a month in
damn.
electricity. I mean, because his
Business
business
rates. Wow.
electricity rates are way higher. So he's spending 1,400 on his unit. He's spending 500 to 600 a month on electricity. And think, what's he really
Yeah, a
running
few
there? A few
lamps.
lights and probably
A heater,
nothing
maybe a
really. But
heater,
obviously, the business
because you don't
rates,
want your
yeah,
shoes to get
maybe
damp or
business
anything.
rates
But
are
still,
higher. Yeah, and then he's got service charges and maintenance fees. So you're probably looking at 2,000 to 2,500 per month. So basically, I always figured out when if you can get a unit for £1,000, basically
yeah.
double it for all your utilities and stuff. Seems
That's
to be
what
the
put me
general
off. I
good
was in the
rule,
same position
and
last year.
obviously
That's what
business
put me
rates as
off last year.
well.
I was about
Yeah,
this close to signing it to it, and it's speaking again to someone else on Discord and said, yes, of course, is say 1,000, but put this,
yeah,
put that. They don't tell you the fact that you've got a utility bills. They don't tell you just because you got a tap, you've got to be paying 60 quid a month
yeah,
for water. They don't tell you that because you've got a pipe, even though it's closed for gas, you still have to pay a gas fee, kind of thing.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, a trend that I've noticed people, mainly in America, doing is obviously they start prepping themselves. They then go to a prep center, and then when they get to a level where they're maybe spending $10,000 a month at a prep center, they actually then bring it back in house. Seems to be so. That's obviously way in our futures if we decide to do that. But they get to the point where they're spending so much at a prep center, they're like, well, actually now it makes sense
yeah,
to get our own warehouse, get a couple of employees, because we can probably do that for half the price. And then when you can save 5,000 a month or whatever, maybe even hire a warehouse manager. And then obviously at that point you're kind of
yeah,
outsourcing it still. Even though you've got a warehouse, you don't have to be there every day. You've got someone in charge. But yeah, there'll be a point where you think I'm spending too much on prep. Let's bring it back in house. Or you're doing wholesale, and and then the margins aren't that great. And then by bringing it in house, you can increase your
yeah,
profits and stuff as well. So yeah, but the key thing you said there earlier is like freedom. Like that's the thing you get. So obviously, I want the freedom to travel. You want the freedom to spend with your family. For what it is, you can get freedom to
yeah.
do whatever you want. That's it. If you want to sit and build
Which
Lego
I
all
do,
day,
which I kind
in
of, I
theory, you
kind of
can do
do.
that.
I had a little one actually came in yesterday. I
So
was planting some olives yesterday, as you do on a Wednesday night. And then she came in the garage and it's like, oh, I'm coming in, kind of thing. She's only 2.5, and then but she's
okay,
very vocal, and she tells you she's got full senses
that's
at two
good.
and a half, which is brilliant. She comes in the garage,
That's
and
crazy. Yeah,
everything, and she's straight away she sees a chair. I'm coming up. And she's like, "Oh, what's this?" kind of thing. She starts playing with a little. It's like, "No, no, you don't touch." So I think I
yeah,
might have Sirius Black. I think Sirius Black might be somewhere in here. I've never actually. I've
yeah,
built it and I've never done anything with it. But I just obviously
yeah.
just seeing stuff through those eyes. I think I've got another year before she can start building Lego. But she's got a.
Yeah, you can always get her some stuff and she just put it together. Not
Oh,
actually building anything, is it? But that's what when I was younger, I
yeah,
used to get Technic for every birthday, Christmas for like 5 years or whatever. And then I used to build the model once, take it to pieces, and then I used to build my own stuff. That was obviously when you get older and stuff, now you just
yeah,
build the models, put them on the shelf. But yeah, when you're younger though, I used to build all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, it
yeah.
was good fun actually. But it's a good toy for kids, to be honest, because it's better than
Well,
a normal iPad
I
or
mean,
whatever.
I was a wild child, to be honest. We were just out building houses outside and everything, like with tree trunks and everything back
Yeah,
in Greece, back, back, back in those days, where you could actually you could
yeah,
walk to the
yeah. I
park
used to,
without somebody just robbing you or anything.
yeah, I used to be saying, yeah, I used to
Oh,
go out to there were a few
it's
ponds in
just
my village.
crazy,
Used
and
to go
it's
to the
just
ponds
like,
and catch newts and
well,
frogs and stuff,
the
and
lights
all
came
that
on, we
kind of
must
fun
go
stuff.
home, kind of thing. That was the thing. The lights came on, you go home, but you just
Yeah,
don't get it now these days
yeah.
at all. I'll just text my mum. I'll just
Depends
text
where
my
you
mum.
live, I guess, and how
I'll just
safe it
text my
is.
mum,
But yeah,
kind of thing. But
that's
no,
true.
it's just
Yeah,
weird. It's just, yeah, I think sadly, not sadly, but I'm very lucky. Obviously, I've signed up with Skewific anyways. I just think I've got to bite the bullet and start sending everything in there. Especially as you said, I've not got that many units or stuff for prep. Not many different. I've got units, yes, but not many SKUs. I think it's going to be the same thing. They've got to be packing for us, so they can easily pack 500-600 units. That could be the job.
yeah. I'm the same, to be honest. Not a huge number of SKUs. I'm whittling it down because also when you got more SKUs, it becomes more to manage on the. Well, there's a lot of things to go with it. First, you've
Yeah,
got the admin of like VAT and stuff like that. With hundreds of invoices, and then you've also got to manage like the
yeah,
repricing and stuff, and just keeping an eye on things and seeing how they're progressing and things like that. It's a lot of effort, isn't it, just to keep on top of. I think my peak like SKU level was like 300 or something like that, and to be honest, I just
yeah,
didn't manage them. I just kind of left them because it's too much. And it's really boring to go through every one every like a month or whatever and see how it's progressing. Especially if you're doing like
yeah,
deep analysis on it. I just didn't do it basically because I got bored of it. So it's good to actually to go down into, I think anyway, having fewer SKUs and getting those big
yeah. I mean,
replens and stuff. But again, I know people that have hundreds of SKUs still and make way more money than I do. So again, maybe you could outsource that to a VA, and it's their job to keep an eye on it and research it,
well,
or
I was
write a
talking to
program to do
Suhail,
it.
and
But
literally, he's got the VA that they've trained him to go on Source Mogul and just get wholesalers, basically ideas for wholesaling items, ideas of work, and
okay,
that's he's got like a spreadsheet, a wholesale spreadsheet, and you open up in that spreadsheet, and it's got the contact details for the wholesaler. Obviously, doesn't mean you've got an account, but it
okay,
just means you've got a starting base. Here's the product. Here's the Amazon thing. Here's how
yeah,
much you could make. Here's the wholesaler you can potentially source it from, and you can go down because he does massively
okay,
wholesaling. That's what he does. Um,
yeah.
it's quite interesting. Yeah,
Source Mogo, not used Source
yeah.
Mogo. Okay, I'll check
So
that out. But I've heard of it. But yeah, I've not
you would
used
think
it.
with your name.
So uh, yeah, exactly. I might have to sue them. No. How dare they use my but yeah, like I say, yeah, wholesale, private label, OARA. God, there's so many ways to make money. If you're not making 5 grand a month on
Yeah,
Amazon, you're doing something wrong. Obviously, it takes a while to build up, but
it's
you can
just
see the potential
it's
here.
crazy,
I
isn't
say
it?
I'm just trying to get to the 10,000 every month now consistently. I missed it last month. I only made 85 last month. I say
It's
only, it's
crazy,
still
man.
really
The
good.
fact that you
I still
say the fact that you
100k,
say
yeah.
only.
But I was disappointed. Do you know what? I was really disappointed with that figure. I'm not gonna lie.
What could you
I
put it
was like, I
down
really
to?
wanted to
You
because
could you
the
track
months
it as to why you didn't get the 10K?
I had a bad month basically. The third month of April was just so slow. I started off super quick, and this month as well has gone really well. It seems like the months start off very well, and then they just die off, and then it
Yeah,
picks up again at the end of the month. So that's what happened there. Basically, I was well on track to make over 10,000. Then I had literally a terrible week, just getting no sales. I don't know why. Just
it's got to
maybe people
be
run out of
maybe
money.
more
Third
high
week
end
of the
products,
month,
maybe more high end. People are just thinking, "Oh, let's get giddy. I'll get
yeah.
paid. I get giddy. Come
So
on, come on." And then maybe it's like, "Oh, I get
exactly.
paid,
So
so
it
therefore
could
I
be
can use my
that.
credit card the last week."
Um,
So maybe it does make sense really with it. But I mean, it's taking me 4 years to find replenishable products on Amazon. It's taking me four
yeah,
years to find replenishable products, which is kind of mad.
yeah. But the thing is, there's more resources out there
Yeah,
now than there's ever been. It's like even in that very short period of 4 years, got it's way easy. You got people like you and me now putting out content and stuff. I'm spouting to people like constantly telling them
yeah,
replens, specialize in category and stuff. So I think there's way more information out there. Although it's tougher to do Amazon, I think now. But at the same time, it's still a good time to do it.
yeah.
You can still make lots of money. It's just not as easy as it used to be maybe 4 years ago when everyone could just jump into health and beauty and make 60,
Crazy.
100k a year, whatever. You know, I personally think that category is dead now. I don't even touch it apart from at Christmas. Obviously, there are
Yeah,
people
they
that out
still
there
make
that do
money.
it and they've got good wholesale leads and stuff. But I just don't like it for OA. Really, I think it works for bundles. I think it probably works for private label. Probably works for wholesale. I think OA, health and beauty, is pretty much done. I think, or it's a very tough market.
I
I
think
don't
you
know.
might have
If
to.
you want,
I think you might
I
have to
wouldn't get
niche
into
down on
that.
brands quite a lot. Yeah, you can't say, for
Yeah,
example, I don't think you can use a sourcing software on boots and expect it to sell for that price. If that makes sense, that's not going to
yeah,
happen.
yeah. So, and a lot of them you have a lot of holds as well now on health and beauty. So you can still make money on it, but you'd be holding your
Yeah,
stock for 3-6 months. It's like there's better opportunities out there. I think. I mean, saying that actually, I've been holding a product now for nearly a year. It was one that was pinged out in a group ages ago, and obviously everyone jumped on it. They killed the price, and I've been holding it all this time. And the price is finally coming back. So it's a health and beauty product. It's like
yeah,
a supplement thing, basically. And obviously with summer coming, people will buy more supplements and stuff. And finally, people are selling out, and I'm hopefully going to make. I've got like 400 or 500 units of this thing, so I'm going to hopefully make hopefully £2-3
nice,
profit. So I could have sold it for a loss, but actually turns out with a bit of patience, I had a really good sell by date as well. That fortunately a really good sell by date into
nice.
2026. So that was lucky as well. Because sometimes you get these things and sell by dates are terrible. But yeah, patience is key as well. So I was trying to think of a good like term, like "hold is gold" or something in Amazon. But when it comes to OA, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
true
it's
though.
just mad.
I found anyway.
It's just knowing the game,
Um,
you're reading the
but
graphs, X, Y,
yes,
Z, understanding that the more people do see
exactly.
something, of course, is this going to get the pay? This is why, for me, I've just
Yeah,
enjoying the power of having my own listing at the moment in time. I just can control it.
I think it's definitely the way forward. I mean, OA. I mean, it's still going to be around forever, but it's going to get more efficient as more
Yeah,
software comes out for it in terms of people finding deals. It's going to be harder to keep deals to yourself. You're going to have to venture into new categories that people don't even think about,
yeah,
which is fine, but it's going to get harder and harder. So I think PL is probably the future. Unique bundles is a good one as well. Wholesale as well. Getting those good wholesale leads is going to be very important, I think. It depends which, but I wouldn't say I'd do all of them though. Although you do all of them, it's fine, it works. But for me, if I was going to recommend to people, I'd say just get
yeah,
good at one to begin with, and then you can figure it out. I do too many things to be honest. I think specializing is good, and not only specializing in a certain thing, but also just focusing on one
yeah.
thing at a time, like one business and one strategy. I'm terrible at it personally, but I get bored just doing one thing. But yeah, there's a huge amount of opportunity there, guys, to make so much money on Amazon. I'm barely scratching the surface. I can see myself making 20, 30,000 a month, no problem. My goal now is just to get to 10,000 regularly without kind of breaking a sweat. Every month now, I'm
Yeah.
touch and go, and then I get a bad week and I don't get it. So just get to that, and then try and get 15,
I'm
20K.
hoping you're
If
going
I
to start
get a
paying
new
yourself
category
too, there.
now,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
well.
about that thing.
I need to
I
look
need to
into
look
it, but I don't
into it.
kind of
I
need
need
the
to look
money, if that
into it.
makes
It just
sense.
doesn't make sense for me to get paid. It just doesn't make sense.
So I just want to keep reinvesting the money, and I've got other sources of income that bring me in like
Yeah.
the minimum, I guess, for tax wise. So the 12K and stuff I get from elsewhere. So it doesn't make sense. Obviously, if you've got no other incomes, you
Yeah,
should
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
pay yourself that 12, whether it's 12,800, whatever it is now, every year because that's tax free. To be honest, I probably am losing money. Like dividends, you get 1,000
Yeah,
tax free, don't you?
when I
Now I
started, it
think
was
last year was
2,000.
two
When I started, it was
thousand.
1,000. I think it might go down to 500.
Yeah, it used to be more. It
Yeah,
used
I
to be
think
five
it might even
thousand or
go down
something
to
at one
500 at
point, but
some
now
point.
it's
But
yeah, they're really cracking down on it. I don't know if God 500 would be pointless, wouldn't it? But yeah, so I probably am losing some money there, but I'm just keep
yeah,
reinvesting it. Yeah, I don't know. It's at some point I will just take some out, but I just build up. Hopefully, one day I'll have like 400K, 500K in capital. And be like, well, it'd be pretty cool. And then maybe I just take it out. And I don't know. Who knows? So I don't have anything near that right now. But yeah,
oh, it's just
it'd
mad,
be
isn't it?
yeah.
That's the thing. Just
But I'm getting
there's no
paid from other
ceiling, is there?
sources. So I got rental property and YouTube basically.
I, I thought you sold
It's
it. I thought
more
you
than
sold the
enough.
Airbnb.
No, it's on the market to be fair to be sold, but it's
Right.
rented privately right now. So yeah, that brings in some money, and then yeah, the amount of money I
I
made.
think you made a
Well,
video
I
about
don't know. Maybe I
horror
shouldn't say. I
stories. I
don't
need to
know,
have a
but
look. I need to listen to that.
I did, yeah. So I was speaking to Callum actually, and I just mentioned about Airbnb and stuff, and I was like, "Oh yeah," maybe he mentioned about horror stories. I was like, "Yeah, I had quite a few." And I thought, "Oh, it'd be cool to do a
Yeah.
video just to document for myself and other people what bad stories I had, and check it out." The first story is a bit meh, but they get really good. I've got
Oh
some good
wow, so it'd be
footage
quite
as
nice to see
well.
that. Really.
Yeah, so one of them is one of the ones was when people threw a party in my Airbnb during COVID, and I basically filmed them. I kicked them out and then filmed them all walking down the stairs, like and they're all covering their
Wow.
faces and stuff. Yeah, so that's a good one, and then there's a good cake one as well.
Oh, it's
So
interesting to look at that because I saw the thumbnail. I saw the thumbnail. And it was
yeah,
one of those things. Just like I need to watch this if that makes sense,
yeah,
properly. So,
yeah. So I put it on a different channel because it's not really related to FBA.
was
I
it a
don't know,
different
like
channel?
mixing
That's very
things,
popped up on my feed. That's very popped up on my
Yeah,
feed. Let's have
it's a
a look.
different channel.
Unless you
Yeah,
had
yeah,
it,
it's
did
on a
you have
different
it
channel
on
though. Yeah,
Instagram or
so
something? I swear it was on my feed. Let's have a look
no, no,
here.
no. No, it's just on YouTube, but yeah, on a different channel. Because I was thinking about doing like a more of a finance business related channel, not related to maybe some FBA stuff in there, but main. I want to separate it out basically. So I
Why
don't
did
know
it pop up
why.
in my feed? Then it must have been
Probably
organically,
stupid,
and it
but
popped up in my feed.
yeah, well that's good. Well, I guess you kind of watch some of my stuff already, and the channels are linked.
Interesting.
So, but it's a kind of video that potentially could actually blow up, because it is
What's the,
interesting.
what's the channel
The
called?
stories in there.
Because it's definitely I've definitely popped a thing.
Good question. It's just Simon Knight, I think.
Okay.
I've got 2 subscribers and 64 views.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting Simon Knight
Um,
Architects before you, which is never good. Uh,
yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's a
in.
brand new channel, isn't
I'm
it?
in.
So
I've got
I'll
it there.
send you the
I'm in
link to you,
number
don't
3
worry.
subscriber now. I'm in. I'm in. Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, awesome. Cheers.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, watch anyway. So there's got, I think, 6 stories in there. I've got some good footage in 2 of them. And I put loads of photos and stuff. Like I had people doing stupid things like I had a woman who was using self tan, and then she literally one half of the
Wow.
bed was just orange, where it all came off in the sheet, and that sheet was ruined. That's like one of the most tame ones. To people like throwing parties. The cake one's good because I got that on CCTV,
Wow.
so you can see that.
Oh, looking forward to listening to that
What happened
video.
there with the
It
cake?
literally popped up on my thing. It popped up on my thing, and I must have triggered it was you then
Yeah,
because you said Simon underneath. I thought I'll watch this later, kind of thing. But
yeah.
maybe that's
Oh,
why.
awesome! Well, yeah,
I'm just thinking why it didn't pop up again. But I think it was 2, 3. It was 2. How many? It was 2, 3 days ago. It popped up. 6 days ago. Yeah. So that's why it popped up. It
yeah.
popped up
It
organically
is,
though,
yeah.
Simon.
Cool, yeah. So it's the
Yeah.
kind of video that potentially could do well, that someone, I just wanted
Yeah.
to do it to document, one of the things I've been thinking about doing actually is just like doing a daily, like, people write journals and stuff. Just doing a video of
Yeah.
myself, just for myself or future generations, just talking about my day or whatever, not to be public, but private and just, I don't know, it's something I've been thinking about. Because it'd be cool, wouldn't it, to like, because it's amazing how much stuff
Yeah.
you forget, actually. Like people mention me, oh, you remember that thing? I'm like, I do not remember that at all. And then eventually, when you jog my memory, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Whereas if you documented it all in video, and then you can always go back
Oh.
and see your younger self
Oh,
and see how naive you
I got
were,
freaked
or
out the other day because obviously it snowed here maybe 7 months ago. So my little one was only
yeah,
2 months and 2 years and 1 month old, something like that. And she shot a picture of us, me and her playing me and her wearing our snow hats. It was snowing at the day, and she could recollect that we built a snowman that day and everything. And I was like, I freaked out,
yeah.
Simon. I just assumed I should forget. You know what I mean? It's been 7 months.
Oh yeah.
At that age, you don't. But I just assumed she'd forget. But
Well, you remember all your happiest moments and your
yeah,
saddest moments, don't you? And then everything else in between kind of gets forgotten. So obviously she had a
it's
very good
mad.
time that day, and obviously that's been now instilled in memory.
Yeah.
Because we've all got
And that was a
memories
random
from our
Tuesday, mate. I would
childhood
have
that
missed
it's
that.
like,
That's a random Tuesday. You know what I mean? I would have
yeah.
missed that. I would have been
So
at work teaching some other kids instead of playing time with my kid. So it's
yeah,
just so it's so amazing to be able to do what we want to do. You know what I mean? Obviously, and again, because I'm watching
yeah,
podcasts, it's just like you have your own business, so you can work whenever you want. So you choose to work anytime you can. So you work
yeah.
all the time.
And you end up. Well, I
Yeah.
personally work too much. I actually took a rare time off. Actually, I took the weekend off on the bank holiday. I built a load of my
Oh,
Lego
nice. What?
Titanic that I've got.
How many
So
bags is it even?
uh, I don't know how
How
many
many books? How
bags it
many
is, but
books? Is
it's
it 4
like
books?
3 books. So it's in 6 sections. You build 2
Wow.
sections per book. It's like I don't know, it's the third biggest Lego set, so it takes ages to build. But yeah, I've got 2 more
What's
sections to
playing
go
in the
now, and then we'll
background while you're
put that
building your
up.
Lego?
I gosh, I've been listening to I've been watching can't remember how to say it. It's a show called Call the Bailiffs or something like that. I don't know why I randomly came onto it and I was like, oh, this
That's
is
just
quite good. I remember
Hangover
seeing
TV.
this like
This is
about
Hangover
bailiffs and
TV, isn't
stuff.
it? It's on Pick TV or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's on YouTube, basically pirated, obviously. I did that, and then I started watching a series called
Oh, what's
Deadwood,
that?
which is like an old HBO TV series about the town called Deadwood in like the late
Nice.
1890s or whatever it is, around the sort of gold rush and stuff. And it's a good series actually.
Not
But
quite
started
bailiffs,
watching
is
some
it?
of that as
Not
well,
quite
but just
bailiffs,
random
though, is
stuff. Or yeah, exactly. Yeah, call the bailiffs, call the sheriffs, and then can't pay, we'll take it away. I went through like a binge of all those kind of things. So I don't know why. I just kind of saw it on YouTube and I was like, oh, that's a
Next
really
thing you
good
know, it's
episode. And
just
then
you build the whole
yeah,
Titanic watching it.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So and then just listening to some like 80s remix music as well. So that's kind of music I like listening
happy
to right
days.
now. But yeah, I thought I just need to get. Well, I don't need to, but I wanted to build something
Yeah,
getting back into
same
Lego,
here, mate. I love it,
building
but it's
some more
been a while
Lego.
since I've done it. I want to build a big Hogwarts that I've got all the pieces that go together like a modular.
Yeah.
2 out of 8, two out
Okay,
of
that's
eight kind
cool.
of thing. But it'll happen. But
Nice. So yeah, I've got the Hogwarts castle to build after this. Then I think I'm
oh
out of
wow,
Lego sets, and then I wanted to get and it was on in stock on Game.
yeah, I
The
couldn't find it. I
Rivendell
think I had a
set, which is like
conversation with you, and I
400.
said, "Oh, I'm not sure they've got it."
Yeah. And it literally went out the next day, and I was like, I've got enough points for that. I
I
want to
want
buy
to
it. And then
buy
it's not come back
it.
since. I keep looking. Yeah. So what I think happened is they did a
Wow.
20% sale, and I think people scooped it up at 20%, and it's not come back in stock yet. So yeah, that was a bit rubbish.
Yeah,
But anyway, I'm waiting for that anyway. So I think I've got like 440 in
nice.
game points or something like that. So just about enough of that basically. So that will come back, and that's another huge set as well. And then yeah, what I want to do is try and get this into a film studio. I'm going to do maybe some filming in my living room, then try and get some like
Nice.
Lego sets in the background, just to add a
Yeah.
bit of like you've got basically, adds a bit of like I don't
Oh,
know,
mate, seriously, once you
what's
start
the word? Just
once you
makes it
start
look
pottering
interesting, doesn't
around,
it?
it's crazy. Like, I mean, I've got these shelves here in the background. I
Yeah,
want them moving around too, kind of mentality. And as I said, if I'm going to be using a prep center, I should be able to do that a lot easier. No,
yeah, exactly. Well, you got the prep center
I know
set
all I've
up,
got to do
so
is
just
send
use
stuff.
it
All I've got to
basically
do is
and
just
see
change
how
the
it
delivery
goes.
address. That's all I've got to do, really.
Yeah, just remember to do it as well. You
Yeah,
can also
yeah,
have a different billing address, different delivery address. Sometimes I forget, and then I'm like, "Why is this turned up here?" I'm like, "Bloody hell," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." So, and obviously, if I move out, I don't want things turning up here
no,
that I paid for. So, because if I go
yeah,
traveling, I rent this place out.
nice.
So, but yeah, so
No,
yeah,
that's been
awesome. Well,
good.
it's
So
been a good
I've got a
chat
session
anyway.
at 4, so I'll go and get a wee brew before that. But it's been brilliant, man, and very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks guys for watching anyway. Check out
And
my channel, FBA
second
Mogul.
one too. We've got
Quick
3
plug.
subs there. We've got
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you want, you can throw
I'll
the
put
link down in
both.
the
I'll put
description
both
if you
there.
want for the. Yeah, and I'll hook up the that sheet as well for like finding categories and stuff, and make it so people can
Amazing.
clone it and stuff if they want. But yeah, awesome guys. Thanks very much for watching. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had a good
Yeah.
time prepping. If you've been prepping,
No, thanks for watching, everyone.
cool.